Hi, everyone. Welcome back to God's Whispers, a place where we take a moment to pause and reflect on the word of the Lord. Today I'm going to be speaking about the Gospel according to Luke, chapter 9, verses 18 through 22. At this point, Jesus has been traveling through Galilee, teaching, healing, and performing miracles. Crowds have been following him, and everyone has their opinion. Some wonder if he's John the Baptist who has returned from the dead. Others think he's Elijah. Others think he's a prophet. But these are just rumors. And people are still curious and have expectation. Jesus wants to eliminate the noise. And so he just asks, "Who do you say that I am?" They said in reply, "John the Baptist, others Elijah, still others, one of the ancient prophets has arisen." Then he said to them, "But who do you say that I am?" Peter said in reply, "The Christ of God." He rebuked them and directed them not to tell this to anyone. He said, "The Son of Man must suffer greatly and be rejected by the elders, the chief priests, and the scribes, and be killed, and on the third day be raised." Peter, as we just heard, steps forward and says, "You are the Messiah." This is the first direct time where Jesus' identity is revealed. But immediately Jesus warns them not to tell anyone. And then he explains that he needs to suffer, be rejected, die, and rise again. In the first century Judea, people were expecting a conquering king, someone who would liberate them from Roman rule. Peter's confession was courageous, but Jesus' prediction of his passion was confusing and obviously frightening to the disciples. This moment also comes from, if you remember yesterday, when Herod was asking, "Who is this man?" Herod has that curiosity mixed with fear. But Jesus isn't interested in opinion. He wants commitment. He is asking each of us that same question today. Who do you say that I am? The world may see Jesus as a good teacher, a prophet, or even just a historical person. That's what the crowd thinks. But a disciple would require more than just those words. A disciple needs to show faith in our everyday lives, even when it's difficult. We need to understand the full story, the cross, the rejection, and the resurrection. So journal prompts for this passage would be, if Jesus asked me today, "Who do you say that I am?" how would you answer honestly? And am I following Jesus only when it's convenient, or even when my path of life looks like a cross to bear? And how can I live just to show that Jesus is the Messiah and not just a figure from history? This question is not something new, and I hope to myself not just follow along the crowd's opinions, but to stand up and declare and continue in my faith even when the climb might be hard. I hope this message resonates with you, and if you feel like a friend could use some encouragement, please feel free to pass it along, and don't forget to subscribe so you can continue to hear God's Whispers.